Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 61. It is later in the day. We're 7:14 p.m. Finished a coloring class, actually 2 coloring classes yesterday and today. And I have the finishing touches to put on the front of the title page. And I've done a bunch of work to prep for the mandala on the back side that I have turned into quadrants, and we will talk about the back of the title page after I finish the few little bits and pieces I want to do. I went ahead and colored the stars yellow. I did not use the yellow gel pen, the neon. It was, see how this is a warm yellow? It was a very cold yellow, and because of the proximity of the air balloon up at the top here, I just started up at the top with the yellow that is the same as the color of the hot air balloon. I am going to slowly pan all the way down, and then I will talk about what I did. So you'll see that I left space around Johanna Basford's name and all of the elements on the page. I did not get in close to any of the items. I don't feel I am ready for doing a glowing background behind each item yet, but I am hoping to get confident with that particular type of background at some point in the future. And I did run this past my husband, and he thought that the background does work all right. So I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Today is black glaze on the butterfly bodies, a little bit of shimmer on the butterfly bodies, and some gray shading on the larger elements. I am not going to do anything with the stars today. And that will finish this off for the moment, and we will get moving right along to the back of this title page. So I have off to the side here a couple of grays, the grays that I have been using so far on this page. They will be on the description. You'll notice that for episode 60, I went ahead and added the additional colors, but not all of the colors they used. So what I might do for today is summarize everything. I will pull from the descriptions of the last couple of days and get a full list of all colors used, all collected up for the final reveal of this today when I get the video done, and then take a screenshot of the whole, listen to me, we're not on a computer, a photo of the entire image altogether. So for now, I'm going to grab my middle gray, which is 50% cool gray. I've already started doing a little bit of gray work here on the bottle, and I'm going to continue on. Because my light source, I think I've said in a previous video, the light source is like up over here. Where's my fingers? There we go. Up over here somewhere. So I'm going to be having the shadow be cast on the left side. And I'm going to do this shading for all of the elements. At this point, I am trying to get some depth, or a appearance of depth. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to take the background all the way to the images yet. It is possible that I won't do anything with the background, but at some point I would love to explore a somewhat glowy effect, kind of the Kincaid effect as I think of it as. So that is what I have in mind as far as shading goes for each of the objects on this page. I do not have my sharpener with me, so hopefully I'm already feeling that this is a little bit dull. I'm also doing some shading under at the bottom. All right, so that is what I have in mind for shading, and I think I will just work counterclockwise because these objects down at the bottom here are just readily available. Again, on the left side of this page, there's this gap, the way the spine works. So I will try my best to not let it alter what I am doing. I was telling my husband that depending on, as I go from page to page, that is, on the bottom here is a little bit thick. I do have my eraser here. Let's see, how clean is my eraser? Not clean at all. Have any scratch paper? I have an envelope that is not needed, so I'm going to clean. See how green that is? Yeah, that would have messed up my butterfly, wouldn't it? Now what's interesting is I cannot tell if that is focused or not. I don't think that's focused. I hope that I have not made you guys look at a blurry image, because this is kind of a one and done. I don't get to refilm because once it's colored, it's colored. So if that was blurry for you guys, I do apologize for that, and I am going to try very hard here to not let that happen. There is one angle on my camera that I've noticed does have that effect of not focusing. Now I'm challenged with this lumpy part here, as I told you. So let's see if I can get the shadow done correctly on this mushroom. I believe this is, oh boy, this is either day 7 or day 8. I do not remember. Oh yeah, back to what I was talking about. Discussing with my husband on the more complicated pages, like going to a mandala that requires some research. I actually went to bed last night, brought my drawing with me to bed. Not this page. I already finished the background by that time, but I did have to bring this chart that I will share when we switch gears and we go to the next page. I will show you the research I did and how I made a game plan. I'm definitely a person who loves analysis paralysis. I love to research. I am a technical project manager by trade, retired. So the more complicated something is with more moving parts, I really love it. It's just that it does require me to put the time into it. The whole purpose for doing this book this way was to be able to get me thinking quickly on my feet and not getting bogged down in the mire and the muck of having to think through a process. So I did have to stop and do the thought process for this next page, which I enjoy, and I think I managed to control the amount of time pretty well. And I am ready to start that page, which is nice because I didn't have to take a day to plan. I'm going to keep the I need a day to plan card in my back pocket, and if and when I hit a page in this book that requires me to take a day where I don't process a video and I don't do my 45-minute next video, I'm going to take it. But I'm going to try super hard not to have that happen. I would love to just keep powering through I also have not let myself, because that's another thing I would do, is count every page, because that is the kind of person I am, that to sit here and count out every page, and depending on how much coloring is involved on each page, I would calculate out how many days, and I'm not letting myself do that. I'm just going to press forward each day. Let's get this guy as much as we can. So as I said, the important thing here is for me to be nimble and confident and relaxed and be able to just color every day and not overthink things. So I'm getting my shadows. This whole side. Now each item, 2 of the bees are done. Not going to do the stars. Got this. Again, my pencil is not as sharp as I would prefer it was. Okay, then the bottle, which is where I started. Oh, and Hub's going to be coming, so I'm going to pause for 1 second. All right, Hub is back. He is settled, so I am going to, I did the whole right side, left side, the butterfly, 2 of the bees, the flower, the bottle, the big butterfly, house and mushrooms, rocks, and I'm just going to now finish this bottom. I had Hub bring me a sharpener, and so this is now sharp. I haven't said welcome and thank you for visiting my channel, and welcome back for those viewers who are returning. I'm trying to make a point of being thankful every day. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with the, oh, did you see that? I hope that you got to see that I just added the little grasses here and a little shadow to the grasses next to the house. And now we're gonna skip the penguin. I noticed that in looking at other people's videos that this, depending on if it's a printed in the US, that icon does change. The tiniest flowers ever. Getting a little shadow action. Today it was a high of 72. And in the pool, it was a little bit cooler today than yesterday, and I did not go yesterday, so I certainly wasn't going to go today. Tomorrow, it will be 70, so I am going to go do the pool. And it's an hour-long exercise class. Thursdays, it's only 45 minutes, since our instructor is coming from a different class that ends on the hour. All right, let's see. We're going to get this last. I'm going to guess that this is a fern. It looks like a fern to me. Let's see if we can do it justice. All right, so the whole bottom. I think I can get the whole bottom. See the shadows. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I love shadows. Oh, and see now, for the goldfish, it's been burnished, and I can see. I'm gonna move the light a little bit. There we go. so that it isn't shiny for you guys. I mean, I like the burnished look, but not when it reflects so that badly. The bubbles here implying that this is a fish in water. We'll get some shimmer. Again, watching the light as I rotate. How about that? I am not going to shadow the bubbles. Did I talk about the bubbles? The bubbles will get shimmer. Now what I'm probably going to do is check my time before I move on to the next page. I am not going to do the what I would call the wet work or the pen work, which is the glaze and the shimmer, because it needs to dry and I won't want to be flipping the page to work on the other page. So I'm going to be working on the other page first, and then I am going to pop back over here close to the end of our time, and I'm going to do the little bit of wet work or pen work as the very last thing I do, so that I can set it down and let it dry. Because I won't want to touch it for a good long while to let the glaze pen, which is like it's a thick pen that has a lot of dimension to it, so it is slow drying. So over here with the jar, I added some shadow. I did not add any bottom shadowing along this line. There's these little dots already, so I'm leaving those lines alone. To be consistent, I am not adding a shadow because we already have the gray, ground, which is stone. I'm implying stone, not dirt. I just went ahead and darkened it a little bit. And I'm going to work on some shadows above here. Almost there. Right, so the little house has been put in shadow. I think for the flower, that's all I'm going to do. Moving to these two cute little butterflies. Oh, that's interesting that it went. I did not notice that it did that. So let's see if I can keep it from, it's like it's overexposing it. I should have checked when I moved in there. Okay, now for the last, oops, and that is me hitting the power cord. I have two light sources right now here. I have the overhead light that I've turned on and then my little lamp right next to me. So let's see if they now are working together. So in addition to the clouds, I have the last bee to work. Also, if you'll notice here on the hot air balloon, I got rid of the shadow. I had put shadows under the flowers and went down in these center lines, and I did not like it. So I have removed the shadowing on the lines, the vertical lines. I've left a little tiny bit here on this side and did more yellow than gray along this left side because I knew I was coming back in just outside of the balloon to do a back shadow. So hopefully you guys can see that. I know I'm probably nitpicking it, but I believe that that looks very nice. So now I've got one bee left right here. All right, so what I just did was the hot air balloon and its clouds and moving around my cable. So I had some issues right here with it overexposing, but I angled the light away, so hopefully that all looks good. I can see it clearly. There's the house, and then the fish, and the bottom line. Our big butterfly, our jar, and the flower above the jar. Little butterfly, 3 bees. All right, so now I'm moving to the next page. And I have to explain my thoughts. So I already talked about, I should probably back out the camera so you can see the whole image. I don't know if I can show the whole thing, but I can show more of it. All right, so putting light back on the page. I've drawn a line through the middle, and then I've drawn a horizontal line through the middle. And now I'm going to set the book aside so I can show you the work that I did to prepare. Some of it will be a little bit Greek to you, I've taken and figured out the color scheme for one of the quadrants. It is with the brand that has the least amount of pencils. I have chosen the rest of the pencils based on the high probability that they will have the colors that I need to be able to do this mostly green quarter circle of leaves. So I haven't proven out the other two sets, but the first two sets that I did already find matches is going to be Arrtx, which was the next in alphabetic order, which I only have a 72 set. Then I picked the Brutfuner 120s, which I just did the walkthrough on. And I already found all of the matches. You can see in my grid, it's mostly greens. So here are the numbers that I found, and I went ahead and you can look at the colors. Those are the Arrtx color, the Brutfuner square color. All the way down the line, I found matches. I did start my analysis using the Colorful Country Life conversion chart that has 12 sets that Karen put together. It used to have 9, and then last year, sometime late in the year, I believe, she added 3 more sets. So I was able to actually see all of the Brutfuners, and I've already done a cursory check of the colors for what I'm calling the Color 180s and the Castle Arts Soft Touch. I don't believe her set that you can see these numbers, these are not the gold numbers, they're the soft touch. So over here is the floral colors. There's not very many of them. And then in the bottom of the green list, there's 2 more. So you will see that the areas I have done with the yellow to orange with the brown center is right here. We have the little blue 4-petal flowers, and the pom-poms this time I am going to make pink and magenta centers with, I'll probably put yellow in the little middle dot. Each of the quadrants does have different flowers. I'm looking to confirm that. Maybe not. Those are the, like a mirror image. Nope, mirror image. So no, every quadrant is the same. They're just mirrored side to side and then mirrored down for the bottom. So that is my game plan. I am going to now grab the book. We have a little bit of time to get started. I don't know how much I will actually get done. I'm going to be zooming in again. Let me get my other hand to hold it so it's not quite so shaky. Sorry about the shake. All right, so do I need to, I don't think I have to move the camera at all. I think I can work with that right here. The pencils themselves, I have sitting in one of my individual slot storage holders that I have. I think I have 6 sets of them. So I already had one set, the Arrtx, that are sitting here. You know what? And I don't have the Brutfuners here. I get to pause and I will be back. We are at the 30-minute mark, so I am going to color in this quadrant for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then I'm going to switch back to do the wet work on the title page, and then we'll be done. All right, I am set. I have the materials ready for, if I crank through this pretty quickly, I can do 2 quadrants because I did bring the Brutfuners down. And Hub went to lay down, so I can be a little noisier and he's not going to be noisy. And we are set. Again, I have about 15 minutes left. I am going to start with the non-green elements. So my very first item to work on here is this flower. I have 4 colors. Again, the very first set is going to be Arrtx. This is what they look like. They are the expert, so they're not the triangle-shaped ones. These numbers are actually old numbers compared to the Colorful Country Life chart. Her numbers are different. I know that mine are a little bit older by the container than what, because I've compared it to what Amazon is selling. Amazon doesn't seem to have the 120 set. I went ahead and bought off eBay a used set of 72s. These are I don't know, some people love them, some people don't. I just finished up using the Arrtx, which were heaven after working with Crayola. Between Crayola and doing the Arrtx on the previous page, I did the Brit Funer detailed walkthrough. Per my poll, the next set to work on is actually going to be Castle Arts Gold. And right now I'm just getting focused on how this is going to work for me every day, and the detailed walkthrough elements I will be working on separate in a different time frame than my 45-minute coloring every day on video. Alright, so that's the lightest color. Again, this is Lemon's A004. The numbers I don't think are going to line up with today's set numbers. I haven't researched whether there's any cheat sheets telling us what I think the names are the same, but I noticed the numbers were different. So I will be posting the numbers, not the names, in the description, but I'll try to spend a little time doing some basic figuring of if there's any correlation between the two, from the old to the new. I just don't know anything about the Arrtx, except that I bought a used set of them. That was Sunflower A016. The slightly more orange color is Tuscan Sun A040, and can I just say that I love that I can read these numbers and the names without squinting and without reading or craft glasses. That makes me very happy. You don't realize how annoying it is until you have a set of pencils that you just cannot read the numbers. I could sort of read the names, but the numbers were so hard. I just think that is a crime against humanity. It doesn't even make sense to me. You know, they buy the printed letters, you know, to stamp on here, and they have a choice to make them bigger or smaller, and why anybody makes them small, like so many are, I just do not understand. I think we should all protest. Alright, so that's our third darkest. I have one darker. These are lovely to work with. They blend nice. They sharpen nice. Pumpkin A052. Alright, and now let's get this smaller one done, and we will work on the middle. I did choose colors as if these were sunflowers, even though it's not. And I think from my mock-up that you may or may not have noticed, I'm going to change the round center a little bit. Just felt the choice that I made didn't have enough pop. All right, moving to the center, I'm going to do the dark. I'm hoping that because of the work that I've done, the pre-work on the scrap paper, that I should be able to pull all of the numbers, do the matches on the last two sets, and I would love if I could get this cranked out in only 2 days. It might be a stretch, but I think it definitely will be no more than 3. I would really like to do it in 2. As in 2 45-minute sessions done. That would be so ideal. I don't really know what's going to happen if I end up flipping to the next page, grabbing the next set in my list of alphabetical order. What is going to happen if I hope, in fact, I left Crayola off my list. That's how much I disliked having to work with them. Yeah, so this is what this is looking like. A little bit of bright pops on the edge of these. I kind of envision these as like daisy. I'm trying to color them like they were sunflower centers, which are really giant, hard seed pod things to make sunflowers, as in sunflower seeds. And these appear to me to be longer, softer, more like daisy petals. Then you'll look in between each set of leaves as a gap. I actually am going to make that. This is again a night sky, so I've already pulled indigo. And I am going to make the in between those little floral petal holes indigo. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah, so I'm going to stop here because I want to make sure I have enough time to do the wet work on the previous page. So that's how that's coming along right now. And I'm just going to stop right here. Flip back to this page. I have my glaze pens right here. I have the black one. I have 3 of these. I bought a set of 3. I think I bought them from like Dick Blick. And this one you can see is very low on ink compared to when I first, oh, here we go. When I first got it, it was way, I think way out there. So let's just go ahead. Again, this is a very thick almost a puffy ink when it dries, and glossy. I'm going to rotate this because I think of this, although I don't know that butterflies have a hard carapace type body. I think it's a softer body. It's not perfect, but I think it's okay. So that's that one. Oops, I've changed the color of my light. Okay, next we have little tiny circles. I did not watch me do that. I hope you could see. I was trying to fill in every dot very carefully. Okay, and then this butterfly has just a body and a head, just like that. Okay, big butterfly down here at the bottom is going to have okay, one last little bit to do. Now the trick is, do not close the book. I have to tell myself in a chant that I will not close the book. Okay, next is I did bring the yellow glaze. I was thinking of putting the yellow glaze on the bees and the stars, but I think because there's so many stars, it would be best if I held off and did that after all this dries. And by that time, it'll be way past time. So I'm going to let that all dry. This is clear shimmer. Got a few select locations that I want the shimmer. If you've heard of Wink of Stella, this is somewhat like that, only in a pen, gel pen form. And I chose this size over the Wink of Stella, so hopefully you can see the shimmeriness on the butterfly. I'm going to go ahead and put, just because I can, who says mushrooms can't have shimmer? All right, we have butterfly number 2, and I can't touch the other butterflies because all the butterflies have wet black bodies. All right, and then these two little guys each have their own little triangle, and I'm going to add to those little turquoise dots on the bottom part of the wing. And that is it for this. I am at well over, I'm probably 20 minutes, so I'm about 5 minutes over. That concludes this episode 61. Again, I did all the shading and I did the wet work, and I am not closing the book, so I won't show you what the beginning of the flowers look like. On the next page, I will have images of both. After this dries, I will take it, and then if I commit to yellow on the stars in the glaze, I will do them on my own time, because then I can deal with putting them on a few and letting them dry. Oh, I gotta put the shimmer on the bubbles around the goldfish. Okay. So that again concludes episode 61. Please do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, subscribe. And my new parting message every day I do these gets to be, I will see you guys tomorrow for more coloring. And I am done.